Hello people, my name is Rage and welcome one and all to the best of the grand tournament. What I thought would be fun to do with the expansion just around the corner and with us already playing around with some cards in Brawl is make my prediction for the 5 strongest / will be most played cards of the set, and then also my 5 just kind of favourite cards because I think they're neat or because I like the art or the flavour of them, etc, etc. So, you know, we're gonna see how good my prediction skills are. So, what I'm quickly gonna do is sneak in a 6th place on this top 5 list because I really want to just mention, and this is immediately gonna lose all credibility if you're watching this video for the first time, having never heard of me or never seen any of my other content, but I have to do it. Watch Dreadsteed. I'm gonna just do it as a quick honorary mention 6. Watch Dreadsteed. I think Dreadsteed is going to be the sleeper card of this set. I accept there's a good chance this is going to be embarrassing, and I'm going to be completely wrong. But there's just a feeling I have. My gut is telling me that Dreadsteed will become a very annoying card that everyone is like, Dreadsteed, always Dreadsteed. You know, like with Shredder and Patron and those level of cards. I don't know why. I just think it has a good chance of it. It enables permanent demon decks. If the meta slows down, you can afford a 4-mana 1/1 that never goes away. I just think it has a crazy amount of utility. And I don't know, maybe I'm just optimistic. Maybe I want a never-ending 1/1 to do well because it's a fun card. Something is telling me it will be good, and I don't know why. But on to the actual list then. In 5th place, we have ourselves the Mage's Polymorph Boar. I think this card will be played a lot because it is one of the most versatile cards in Hearthstone. You can attack with a minion, polymorph it, attack again. You can polymorph an enemy minion and deal an easy 2 damage for 1 mana cheaper polymorph removal. You can polymorph a taunt to bypass it and attack face. You can play this instead of a minion if your deck for some reason would like more spells over minions, like for example I guess, heavy spell power, draw power removal type deck. I guess if this was a Shaman card, it would be really good in Malagos Shaman. That type of deck that you would see this in. Obviously, a mage one of that variety doesn't exist, but you never know. It just gives you so many options. You've had a big minion turn into a frog or a sheep, polymorph it into a boar, and you've got some value back. There is always a way to use this card. Early game, mid game, late game, there will never really be an opportunity where this card is dead in your hand. There'll always be a time you can bust this out for some good removal. I mean, 3 mana deal 4 damage is a Shadow Ball, and that's not played that much, but because you get the body behind it as well, it's just so versatile. I know I'm going around in circles already with this card, but it's literally here for the sheer fact that this card can cover you in so many situations. And that's a very rare thing for a card to be able to do. I also love it from a flavor perspective. I think it's a very neat card. So I can see this being played in a lot of mages. I really can. So number 4 then, we have ourselves a Healing Wave. Yes, sirree. This card is the best heal in the game, and it's incredible. And the reason why it's incredible, ironically, is that it will have an effect on the meta without being run in any decks. And that's quite a special thing for a card to do. Let me explain what I mean. The meta slows down with the Grand Tournament. Control Shaman is good. Aggro decks are thinking, alright, there's a very slow control-y meta right now. Maybe if I built a really refined aggro deck, I can sneak in some wins. But then the Shaman, the responsible control Shamans out there, doing a solid for everyone, go, haha, Rexar. What about this? And waves Healing Wave in their face, threatening to put 2 of them in their deck, threatening to annihilate and crush every aggro deck that they come across. And then the aggro deck's like, I guess I'll just keep playing my control then. And that's beautiful. The threat of this being added to Control Shaman to counter a rising aggro deck is great deterrent, and you don't even need to play it for that. That's pretty damn good. So, in third place then, another Shaman card, we have Totem Golem. Best 2-drop in the game, free 4 for 2 is magnificent. Yes, the overload, but that doesn't matter in the early game, and it's only 1. This card will always trade 2 for 1 on a early play, may even go 3 for 1, which is incredible. Obviously, something like a Succubus or Millhouse would trade 1 for 1 with it, but who plays those cards? Let's be honest here. This is a dominating early board drop that gives Shaman massive amounts of tempo and a lot of breathing room that they could just not have otherwise. I mean, they're running Haunted Creeper at the moment. Compared to this, Haunted Creeper is trash. I mean, granted, Haunted Creeper has more usability with Flametongue Totem, but honestly, I feel like Flametongue Totem might actually be phased out a little bit, because yes, it's really strong, but it clogs down 2 deck slots, and there's a lot of situations that Flametongue is a dead draw, so maybe because you're now using Totem Golem and the Haunted Creeper Flametongue early game board control won't be as necessary, you could cut down to just 1 Flametongue and save some deck spaces, so potentially it could have a knock-on effect like that, which is nice, but either way, it's obviously an incredibly solid 2-drop, and really will go a long way to helping Shamans rise from the ashes. Number 2 then is the Druids Darnassus Aspirant, a 2-mana 2/3, and have a wild growth for free, my friend. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You act 2 of these in along with 2 wild growths, you have got some serious rampy druid action going on. And yes, the death rattle, you lose it, but it doesn't matter. The fact that you have played this on turn 2, a competitive 2/3, which is good stats for 2, and your opponent has 2 choices. Play a minion to keep up with the board, or use removal on the Darnassus Aspirant. Both things will take up their turn early game, and if they play the minion, you suddenly can play a Shredder on turn 3. If they choose to remove it, you've just forced them to burn removal on a 2/3 early game when they should be developing the board in a slower control meta, so whatever happens with this card, you're feeling pretty chuffed as the Druid. And of the off chance you somehow get to silence it, or you manage to keep the crystal, you are laughing. You are just, you are laughing your way to victory with some serious rampage. Also, it's going to be incredibly amusing when this pops out of Shredder and just ruins someone's life. So, this card is the shiz, and we'll see a lot of play in a lot of Druid. Number 1 then, the only legendary on this list, it is Varian Rin. This card is quite frankly absurd, and I actually think it borders on the realm of overpowered. The only reason I'm not going to call it overpowered is because it is a 10-mana play, it's your entire turn, it's very late game, it's a big investment, and I think when you're playing 10 mana, you want a powerful effect. So, for that reason, I'm not going to call it overpowered, but I will call it unbelievably strong. Jesus, if this card was 10 mana, 7/7 draw free cards, it would be played. That's fantastic. The fact that it also puts the minions onto the field the turn you play it is incredible. Hell, if this just puts, say, a Sludge Belcher onto the field and then draws you 2 spells, that is a brilliant turn 10. It really is. A 7/7, you've got your taunt protecting it, you've drawn some extra cards, you've refueled, you've dominated the board. It's just beautiful. Hell, if this was a 5/5 instead of a 7/7 with the same effect and mana cost, it would still be an incredible card. And that's really saying something. You could nerf this card already and it would not change how effective it is. It's like a Ancient of Law on absolute steroids, and it's just unbelievably strong. This will 100% be played in every Control Warrior. It'll probably be played in even some faster Warrior decks just because they have some incredible turn 10 clout if it gets to that long. Also, it's a fantastic lore character and he does deserve to be a very strong card. This is ridiculous and will make an already very strong control deck even harder to beat, and that's kind of scary. Alright then, so my top 5 favourite cards, just because I think they're neat. Let us do that. In 5th, we have the Druid's Living Roots. Now, you may be thinking, why Living Roots? It's just, you know, I don't understand. Well. Because the 1/1 saplings are the most adorable little tree creatures you've ever seen. Look at them. Look at the sapling. Oh, it's just, come on now. Yes, I'm serious. Number 4 then, on my top 5, just because I like them. I am going to go with Murloc Knight. Again, this is more an artwork one, but I also like the card itself. It's a fun card. You'll feel really happy when you inspire it and get your random Murloc. It's always nice to hear the Murgles, but a Murloc riding a frog to battle, I mean, what more do you want with your life, really? It's just lovely. And interestingly enough for this card lets Paladin get the Shaman Murloc, and the Shaman Neptulon lets them get this Paladin Murloc. So I kind of like that crossover between the classes there. So yeah, Murloc Knight, I think he is a lot of fun. Number 3 then, Beneath the Grounds, the Rogue card. This card I just think is great fun. To put 3 ambushes into your opponent's deck, and they never know when they're going to draw them and spawn you a 4/4, I think that's just a really neat mechanic, and I like stuff that does stuff to your opponent's deck before they've even drawn their cards. So I mean, if you play both of them and get 6 ambushes pumped into your opponent's deck, and they're constantly drawing and spawning you 4/4s, I think that would be a hilarious game to play. I really do. So I think the card's a lot of fun, and it has a lot of potential. Number 2 then, Justicar, True Heart. I don't like the stats, I don't like the artwork, but I cannot deny giving everyone souped up hero powers is really cool. I think it's fun, the souped up hero powers are awesome, and I think this card will see a lot of play, at least just to experiment with it, because it does open up a whole new world of Hearthstone that has never been explored before. So that's why that's number 2. And then number 1, a little bit biased I am towards Shaman, I'm going to go with Elemental Destruction. And the reason I'm going with it is because look at that artwork! That is, I mean, it's Elemental Destruction. Now, I am going to put a little asterisk here. This is my number 1, assuming the effect isn't a recycled lightning storm across the entire board, for example. If it actually has a cool, like, just washing the board in lightning effect out of Thrall, then this card deserves to be here. I'm putting it here simply because I think it will have a badass animation, and I love board nuking spells. I think they're a lot of fun. So there you go. Do you guys agree with my power list? What would your top 5 favorite list be? Let me know. Also, would you like me to do one of these with my bottom 5 cards power-wise and bottom 5 that I just think are stupid? I think that could be fun, couldn't it? So let me know on that front. But for now, my name has been Rage. Remember to like if you've enjoyed this, and subscribe for more. Oh, goodbye.